Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Damien. Welcome back. This is my Flash episode 23 review recap video. If you haven't seen the episode yet, feel free to come back later. But due to the complexity of last night's episode, I'm not going to talk too much about the time travel stuff and the multiverse and all of this other very technical stuff that they did, because if I do that, we'll be here all day, and really it's not even worth it to really get into all of that right now. I might do or I probably will do another video kind of talking about and breaking down a lot of what they're really what really their goal is with this show, as far as the different universes, the goals they have, multiple characters coming on. There's just a lot, and it gets really confusing. And right now, as I'm thinking about it all, if I were to throw a chart up on screen right now, let's say, and I just look at all these different potential outcomes, it just would get really, really overwhelming. So I'm just going to talk about the highlights of this episode and the best parts of it and what made it so great. The Flash season 1, in my opinion, is far better than Arrow has ever been. They did a really, really great job just acknowledging the universe, the timeline, time travel, all of this stuff, and using the Flash as a platform to bring in other characters to launch Legends of Tomorrow. It's really, really a strong show, and I hope they continue with the momentum that they have, because season 1, when I really think about it, there were not many episodes that I didn't actually enjoy. Every episode was pretty good. There were a few here and there that weren't the strongest, but every episode for the most part was an 8.5 to a 10, in my opinion, on a rating scale. So let's get right into it. I'm going to talk about my favorite moments, things that really mattered to me the most. Now, starting off the episode, it comes right out and gets it going. Barry and Earbarthon have a conversation and explaining why he killed Nora and all of that. He didn't really actually get into explaining why him and Barry are enemies, but that's something that they could potentially do in season 2. Their conversation is really great. Barry had some pivotal conversations in this episode with the people in his life that mattered the most. He had a conversation with Iris, had a conversation with his dad, conversation with Joe. Everyone that really he looks to for advice or values their opinion, he had conversations with, and I really, really like that. He also had conversations with the entire group, and doing all of this, it really just sets up this entire idea that he has this, at least it's sold, the idea that he has this really strong family of people that he trusts, and these people are there for him. And it was great. It was really, really great. Now, I could go on and on and on about this episode because there's so many moments that were just really, really good. I also enjoyed Ronnie and Caitlin. Their moments were great. Them getting married finally. See, the problem with their relationship has always been that I'm okay with them doing the wedding. It's hard to really buy it in some ways, because Robbie Amell, who plays Firestorm, he really just wasn't on the show enough, I guess. But if you look at the flashbacks, and then Caitlin always kind of referenced him in the past. So if you look at the flashbacks, though, they were engaged, they were going to get married, so everything is fine there. But I guess he just hadn't been on screen enough for me to really feel their relationship, but that's completely fine. I know they're going to change that in season 2. It's going to be really confusing, because with Martin Stein, Victor Garber's character, being on Legends of Tomorrow, and Robbie Amell is not there, it's going to get really confusing because they're linked, being Firestorm and everything like that. So that's where, again, it gets kind of confusing, because timelines could shift. Who knows what's going to happen exactly. So, but their scenes were great as well. I also really enjoyed the interaction with Barry and his father at the prison, because everyone told Barry he should go back, he should save his mother, do it, but his dad was the one saying, no, don't do it, you never know what can happen, your mother would tell you not to do it, all of that. And his character, if you've seen the Flash TV show from back in the 80s, he played the Flash, and it's similar kind of casting, the way Smallville did it with Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher and so on. They brought characters on that played or were involved with Superman prior, so it's great when they did this. But his character has been great, and it's really unfortunate that this is the kind of world that he's in. He has to stay in prison, but he's willing to make that sacrifice, or tell his son, like, no, I don't want to get out of prison. You need to be the person that you'll be. You'll be a father one day. All of that. Their dialogue was great, and I feel like they should have more scenes together every week. At least if he needs advice for something, he should go to his dad first. It was a really, really good scene. It was well done. So, and then that kind of follows up with him time traveling. He travels back, and as he's time traveling, he sees glimpses of the past, future, all of that, different timelines. Things start happening, and it's going to be interesting, the dialogue next season, because when he really is able to sit down and process everything that he saw, he's going to think about the fact that he saw Killer Frost, Caitlin Snow there. He saw the Flash Museum, which I don't think he doesn't even have a clue what he even saw right there, but he knows he saw himself in that statue. So, huge stuff. He also saw the scene from Legends of Tomorrow when they're all together. It's going to be a really, really big season for these TV shows, going into season 4 for Arrow, season 2 for The Flash, and season 1 for Legends of Tomorrow. So, really, really good stuff. Now, after Barry arrives in the past to save his mother, future Barry sees him, tells him, don't save Nora. He's aware that it can change everything. Maybe he tried that as well. The scenes in this show, again, I can't stop praising the overall quality of the episode. So, really, really good. But that was a really sad scene. It was a great scene between Barry and Nora. At least he was able to say goodbye to his mother. And it was just one of those things, I guess, he never got that kind of closure. So I really appreciated that as well. Now, moving on, next biggest thing throughout the episode, Eddie Thawne dying, Eobard disappearing. See, this is where it gets really confusing, and this is where I'm going to have to do a separate video, but to quickly summarize, it's when Eddie Thawne killed himself, he cut the timeline of Thawnes, so Eobard Thawne never got to exist, which means Eobard Thawne in the future was never able to travel back and take the place, the actual Harrison Wells. So that's where it gets really confusing, because then the question would be brought up, well, does that mean that he couldn't go back in time to kill Nora Allen? It's going to get really, really confusing, and, it's best to let's wait a while and kind of see just where things start to go as they reveal promos for season 2 and just tease stuff as Comic-Con rolls around during the summer and whatnot. But yeah, this is what I'm kind of talking about. But again, the biggest moment for the episode towards the end, we see Captain Cold, we see Hawkgirl, and the black hole, the singularity, is starting to destroy Central City. It's taking everything. And Barry, it ends with him trying to run as fast as he can and contain it in some way, kind of like he did with the Martin brother in the first episode. So again, it's just, and that's where people are gonna see, a lot of people assume Eddie Thawne is gone, but he was sucked into it as well. Now, what exactly is going to happen there? Because there's no way Eddie Thawne is gone. He's going to be back in the show. Eddie Thawne and Eobard Thawne are two major characters in the Flash's storyline. Now, whether they decide to make Eddie Thawne a Reverse Flash or not, I think Eddie Thawne will ultimately become some type of villain. Doesn't necessarily mean he'll be a Reverse Flash. He could be Cobalt Blue, but he will be someone, because with Eobard referencing that he's the only Thawne in history that did nothing, he was just forgotten, that is the clear indication in my mind that he will become something important. And I really hope he becomes a Reverse Flash. I hope Eobard Thawne comes back, because once Eddie Thawne is brought back to life, that will restore the possibility of Eobard Thawne being able to do something in the future, and then he could again come back and kill. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, because once Eddie Thawne is brought back into the picture, this is where it gets really confusing. So it's really, really different with the Flash, with a show like this, when you start throwing in time travel and multiverses and different Flashes, like the helmet we saw when Eobard was saying that's about Mike Q. That's Jay Garrick. That's his helmet. He's another Flash, and that's really where different universes start coming into play and things get really, really confusing. So I will continue to do videos throughout the summer talking about the Flash, Arrow. I'll also do like prediction videos and my top moments from the Flash season 1 and my favorite Barry and Iris moments and stuff like that. There's a lot of videos I'm gonna be uploading throughout the summer, but I can't wait for the Flash season 2. I can't wait for Arrow season 4, even though season 3 wasn't that great. But there's just going to be a lot. And Legends of Tomorrow, I really hope, is a really good show. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. There's too much to talk about, and I really am just sharing my thoughts and opinions. So this may not be the most structured review that I've done, but it's due to the complexity of the actual episode. There's just so much to talk about, guys. And this is actually the type of episode that I would much rather do a open discussion about in like a podcast type setting. A couple other people. There's just a lot to talk about and get into and have open discussions about, talking about multiple characters and who could come through which timeline and through which wormhole, and it just gets really, really insane. So we'll we'll see just exactly how everything plays out. I'm gonna be having videos throughout the summer for The Flash, Arrow, and even Legends of Tomorrow, just talking about different things, updating you guys. So subscribe if you're new, leave a like on the video, comment down below, share your thoughts and opinions. Let me know what your favorite moment was from last night's episode, and I will see you guys in another video. Check out my other 2 videos at the end if you'd like, and I will talk to you guys later. My name is Damien.